In other news tonight, a new batch of Twitter files, this time surrounding the Russia hoax and Democrats' efforts to outright lie over and over and over again, all while the FBI abused their power to illegally spy on Team Trump with Hillary's bought and paid for dirty dossier. Now, according to reporting from Matt Taibbi, while Democrats repeatedly pushed a totally false narrative that Devin Nunes, his 2018 memo laying out widespread spying abuses, was being pushed by Russian bots on Twitter. Even Twitter officials, they said they found no evidence that Nunes' report was being promoted by Russian bots, nor was there any significant Twitter activity connected to Russia. But specifically in January of 2018, the congenital liar Adam Schiff and Senator Dianne Feinstein, they lied repeatedly and claiming that the memo hashtag was being boosted by Russian trolls. However, that was a complete lie. That was false. And even Twitter is now saying so. According to these new documents, and by the way, but it didn't stop the Democrats from doubling down on their Russiagate lies. Why? To push the biggest hoax in American political history. And for the record, this show, with its ensemble cast, got that story completely right, while 99% of the media mob was dead wrong and lied. Just like when I supported Donald Trump very early, I got the crap beat out of me by people saying I'm not a conservative. Oh, okay. Here with reaction, former chairman of the House Intel Committee, Devin Nunes, along with America First legal founder Stephen Miller. Welcome, both of you. Devin, let's start with you. This was your report. You were right. The congenital liar lied. We were right the whole time. I wish we knew at the time. I wish we found out earlier. This went on for, what, nearly 3 years.
Yeah, look, and it's still going on. And I think if you were to actually have Adam Schiff on your show, he probably wouldn't show up, Sean, but he would continue to say it because no one calls him out on it.
I'll give him 4 hours. I'll give him 3 hours on radio and 1 on TV.
Yeah, I don't think he'll show up. But look, remember what happened here. In 2016, Donald Trump caught everybody by surprise by using social media successfully to win the election. After that point, Obama specifically went to Zuckerberg. They went to Twitter. So this was part of an ongoing process through 17 and 18. They all knew the Russia hoax was exactly that, a hoax. And their goal was not to just control the fake news, but to control the delivery of the fake news, which poisoned the American people. And I bet if you did a poll today, I bet you would still have half of America, maybe more. They would think that Trump and Republicans had something to do with Russia. And it's a shame.
That is really a shame. Stephen Miller, you were there the whole time. You followed this daily as we did. We all knew it was a lie. There was no evidence that backed up what they said. But the congenital liar, the Democrats, the media mob, they pushed that phony conspiracy theory and rammed it down the throats of every American that, I think Devin is right, people would believe it.
Well, these Twitter files are positively explosive. They document how after Devin Nunes courageously stepped forward and published this memo documenting illegal spying on the president, documenting the Russia hoax, after he bravely stepped forward this memo, people like Adam Schiff and Dianne Feinstein and Senator Blumenthal concocted and pushed a phony story suggesting that Russian bots were promoting this to try to taint the memo, to try to taint this congressman. So what we see here is a systematic pattern where the people who point and say Russia collusion, they are the ones interfering in our democracy. They are the ones that are spreading lies that poison the well of the American Republic. They are the ones who must be held accountable. And I am so gratified to see, for example, that Adam Schiff, lying liar that he is, has been booted from the Intelligence Committee.
You know, Devin, as I look at this, you go back to 2016. The only people buying bought and paid for Russian misinformation, that was Hillary. The only one that talked to a Russian that said they had compromising materials on Trump, naked pictures. That would be the congenital liar, Adam Schiff. If you look at where the money went from the communist Chinese, our #1 geopolitical foe, that went to the Biden family. The Ukraine, I'm withholding $1 billion until you fire a prosecutor investigating my son who admits he has no experience in oil. The one doing a big oil deal with China is Hunter. The family that's getting a $5 million no-interest forgivable loan, that's the Bidens. The ones getting the money from Russia, Kazakhstan, Ukraine, China, that's all them, Devin. The very thing they accuse Republicans of, they're guilty of.
Yeah, look, that's exactly right here. And the question is now, what's going to happen? I mean, look, President Trump and I were very supportive of Elon Musk buying this company. And I think we've been surprised that Elon has been willing to put all of this out. And I think the new Republican Congress should actually subpoena or request from Twitter this information so that they can go through it. It's been great that Matt Taibbi and others have gone through it and they're putting out these reports. But also, this is only the tip of the iceberg. We're only looking at Twitter, and Twitter is a small piece of the pie. Meta, which is Facebook and Instagram, they're the big boy on the block here, Sean. They've been shadow banning, they've been doing nasty things, and they spent, remember, they spent after Donald Trump uses Facebook successfully to get elected in 2016, did it the right way, before they were shadow banning. Then they turn around, they start to shadow ban us, they put pressure on these tech companies, and then Zuckerberg puts in over $400 million.
And it gets worse.
Into the 2020 election.
They have an FBI guy that writes a thesis in college about how Trump colluded with Russia. He heads up a group of FBI agents talking to big tech companies every single week, warning them there might be a misinformation campaign in the 2020 race, and it might be about Hunter, at least according to the integrity head at Twitter, this guy, Mr. Roth. We got to roll. Devin, you've been vindicated. Steve Miller, so have you. And so is this show.
Thank you.
Thank you all. Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.